So I guess when it starts up, this is what you'll see, which normally would have your today's patients. It just kind of gives you a little bit of information. None of these are clickable at the moment. Over here is your menu. Today's patients, upcoming appointments, completed reports, and unsigned reports. Those are the different areas. So I'll click on the unsigned reports. Oh yeah, right. Okay. And so here's a list of the patients that get downloaded straight from the website. You've got their background information here as well that you can look at. Let me pick someone I've never done before. This tells you which template you're using right here, where it says West Virginia. Is the font too small?
For showing it or for using it?
For showing it right now. Should I enlarge it?
You can enlarge it a little bit.
Not like that.
That's a little better, yeah.
Okay. So right here it tells you which state template you're using. This is West Virginia, so I'll go ahead and click the little chart button and get started. Up at the top, you have the headings. This will allow you to jump around during the report. You can also just hit next to go to the next section. So this is the claimant information. The assistant could put in here how they were identified. For each of us as the providers, if you want this sentence in there, the claimant is a reliable historian. It's already check marked. It'll be in there for you. If you don't want it, just deselect it. Move on to the history. Okay, so here's where you have your allegation list. So we'll just say this person has joint pain. Add that to the list. Back pain. Add that to the list. And each time you add one, what happens down here is it'll pop up with another box where you can begin giving the history. You have two options. Obviously, you can type the info here, or if you click this little microphone button, it'll allow you to start transcribing voice to text. For some reason, it doesn't work with my crappy laptop, but I've seen Richard do it and it works. It's very, very efficient. Seems to work very well. So you can fill in your histories here. If there are no records available for your review, you can just check mark no. So it's got that information there. And when you're done typing, you move on to the next section. So whatever past medical history, maybe they've got hypertension, diabetes, leave it at that. Surgery, we'll just put happy, whatever. One thing to note on these boxes where you type stuff, you need to think in complete sentences with a capital and a period. It's they're for complete sentences. So this will be for the assistants. We won't be doing a lot of this information, but here's your social history that we usually take with the alcohol and drugs and all that. You can just fill it in, you know. Does cocaine. Medications. If they're not taking any, it's already selected by default, or you can just click that and the assistant can start typing them in. Or if you use the medication list that we have developed that the claimants fill out, you can just hit see attached list and then we'll upload that in the upload files section. Same thing with the allergies. Whichever way you want to go about it. And then you come to the review of systems. The default is just going to type out that they deny all of these things. If that's not the case, you can deselect it and come down and start doing your review of systems. So if they begin to complain of wheezing, coughing, optosis, chest pain, Anything that you leave blank is not going to be printed. So like if I do not touch anything on this GU section, it won't show up in the report. If you want it to say there's no history, then you would click that and it'll show up as no history of GU problems. And hit next when you're done there. This will be assistance information here where they're going to put all your height. And then we start the physical exam. So with the general appearance, you can click no acute distress. These that are already have the check marks are going to be on by default. So that means it's normally going to say in your report, without you doing anything, the claimant can hear conversational voice at a normal voice level. If that's not the case, then you can begin to change this. If they happen to hear what you're saying fine and they also have hearing aids, you can select that. If you want to comment on their speech. If you feel the need to do any skin examination, then you can put that here. If you leave it blank, again, it's not going to be printed in the report. And HEENT section, you can select whatever things you want. If the nose is abnormal, you can hit abnormal, come over here and just type whatever. It's absent, got shut off. Pupils equal round active to light, that's going to be on by default. If you have any other comments, you go ahead and make them. Fundoscopic exam. Let's just say maybe if the neck's abnormal. As it is by default, lungs are clear. There's no shortness of breath when lying flat or with exertion. If we need to change that, we can. You got your options for checking if there's accessory muscle usage, clubbing. Had somebody with that yesterday, so let's just say he was not short of breath at rest. He was with exertion. Heart rate is regular without murmurs, rubs, or gallops by default. And then you have your pulses. They're just going to read as normal, but if it's abnormal, say for the had a guy yesterday, his was 0/4. You can just type in what it is. Yes or no with edema. Again, these are just your choices. You can add all of these on there. GI section. By default, bowel sounds are normal. No tenderness. No masses or organomegaly. No scars. You can change any of those you want. That means it's abnormal. So you can say there's a mass noted right upper quadrant. Whatever kind of description you want. So here's our spine section. So you have the option to check tenderness, no spasm. If there's anything else you want to say, you know, DAR. Kyphosis. All right, so here's your straight leg raise in the sitting, supine, negative, positive, or if it's limited for some reason. So we can say limited, it'll pop up a box and say, due to back pain, you weren't able to complete it. You can just slap that in there. Let's see if it works. Then we move down to the joint section. And so shoulders, elbows, all of them right, left, and then you have your options. If there's tenderness, swelling, redness, warmth noted on the right, maybe just tenderness on the left. Whatever combination of these you find. Oops. Hey, Richard.
Mm-hmm.
It's
No,
not
I'm not
selecting.
checking.
It won't allow me to select the pain with range of motion testing.
All right. We'll make a note of it and take a look at it.
Okay. Heberden's nodes, yes or no. Now, right here is your tender point section. If there aren't any tender points, this relates obviously to the fibromyalgia. If there are, you can hit see the tender point worksheet, which is right here. And it's just a standard fibromyalgia tender point checklist, and you can just go in there and fill them out, and it'll print that off with the report. So I'll just leave it on so we can just see what it looks like. Okay, cool. So you can describe their gait, leave it as it is, normal gait, doesn't require a handheld assisted device, or you can use any one of these that you so choose. And I think if you have an assistive device, then you can tell them what it is right here. If you want more comments on gait, they've given you some different things you can put down here. Antalgic, mild, moderate, marked, and then you can also describe over here with typing or with texting, voice texting. Here's your walking on the toes, heels, squatting, tandem gait. They're all check marked yes by default. If it's no, just change it. There's more information on here if you wish to do so. For instance, telling them how much difficulty they have getting up out of a chair, on off the table. There are options for that. They're all blank by default, but you can add whatever comments you want in this area here. Starting the neuro exam, here's the strength testing. Leave it, if it's normal, just leave it alone. If not, you can say no. Come down here and change whatever you need to change. For West Virginia, since they don't want us doing measurements, it's just going to say muscular atrophy is no. If you, as the provider, want them to do measurements, you can click yes, and it gives you the option for what measurements you want to do. For instance, I had somebody earlier this week who had a stroke or had some injury to their lower legs, so they had some atrophy on one side, so I just had them do the thigh and the calf. And they can just simply put them in right and left right there. They don't have to do all of them, but then they can put the measurements in. But if you say no atrophy, those boxes are gone. No measurements will show up on the report. Here's your section about the hands, picking up coins, being able to write, making a fist, whether they can do it with difficulty or not. Any comments you want to say about that? Grip strength testing, the dynamometer measurements will go here. You can give the rating here. If you wish to comment anything about their ability to verify manipulation ability, you can put it here. Sensory testing. Cerebellar function, if it's abnormal, it'll open up some choices for you to give them more information. Cranial nerves as well. If you say no, then it'll pop up and you've got them, whatever's abnormal. Reflexes. And if there's any comments that are needed, you can put them there. Anything else that you find neurologically that's not covered by the above, you can always just, type it in the box at the bottom. The important thing on this page where you have this muscle strength chart that's different than the other pages is you have to hit the save change button at this point. Now that it's saved, you can proceed on and it'll record your muscle. This is the forms that we're all I don't know, whoever works in Ohio uses these. I don't know if you guys use them in West Virginia or not, but it's already got the range of motions on here. So whenever you have a normal, it's on there. You can just go through and just find the abnormals and change them as you so desire. So if the shoulder flexion was limited, you can do so. If it's normal, just leave it alone. This also, you have to hit save at the end of this one as well. Those are the only two pages that you have to hit save at the bottom. And like you said, at the end of the report, before you can finalize it, it'll give you a reminder if you forgot. And here's our assessment with the summary. That's kind of the generic one we've used. Positive findings. And if you want to add in this little sentence, you can. Go on to the additional forms. If we have to do one of the ODAR forms, you've got it right here. Now you can just fill it out with this. The form everyone hates, anyway. Here's your 10-point worksheet. And you can just go through and click whatever ones you have. Richard?
Yeah.
Do you have to hit save on this image?
I don't believe you need to.
Okay. All right, so we'll move on. And for someone using the childhood, there's this for any childhood exams that need this information given. If there are any files, if someone brings an MRI that's not in the records and you want to upload it or whatever else, you can upload files here. And here's not the finalized report, but you can kind of begin to look at the report to see how your information, that if it's in there correctly or not. And there's the surgical history we put in, the vitals. You can save the report, or if save it, and then you can go back later if you need to put any finishing touches on it, or you can hit sign the report and it'll put your digital signature on it. And now you can find that in the completed report section. And that was right here, Eric Downs. And here's your view the report section right here. Oh, okay. Yep. Claim numbers right there.